You're listening to the World Footy Net Podcast. Welcome to the World Footy Net Podcast. You can email us at podcast@worldfooty.net or alternatively, post your comments on the World Footy Net Facebook page.
Hello everyone and welcome to a very special segment of the WFN Weekly Podcast. Today we have a special treat as we have Gary Lamb back on the show with us. He's the honorary president of Sunderland AFC Keroche, and this team is based in Kenya, Northeast Africa. And so, Gary, I want to welcome you to the show. How are you today?
I'm great, Andre. Absolutely buzzing after the boys gained promotion at the end of the season.
Great. Yeah, that is great news. And it's great to have you back to talk about those things. But, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the season that they just had, I wanted to, for the audience out there, if you can give me a brief history of how you found out about the club and how you got involved.
Well, back in the UK, I'm also secretary of a local charity in my own hometown. And we have a lot of fundraising nights that involve the Ex-Players Association from Sunderland. So I'm always looking for people who have SAFC or Sunderland in their name on Facebook or some kind of Sunderland memorabilia related profile picture. And I came across one which said Sunderland AFC Keroche. I had no idea what it was, and I clicked to become friends. And a couple of weeks later, I got a message from the then team manager, Paul, who, I clicked, became friends, started chatting to him, realised we had a team in Kenya called Sunderland AFC Keroche. So after a couple of weeks of discussion, I realised how poor the team were. There was times when they couldn't even field a full 11 on the pitch because with the poverty in the country, at the time the team had no sponsorship and the players had to pay subs to cover the expenses. Now, a player had a choice of, do I pay me subs and go and play for the team, or do I put a meal on the table for my family? Well, I think we all know what the outcome of that is. Your family comes first. So as the conversation grew, I thought, we've just got to give this team some help somewhere. And I put on the social network, the sites and local radio stations and the local newspapers, I put it out an appeal for kit. And I was totally overwhelmed. I was expecting a few things coming in, but we sent over, in the end, over 700 Sunderland shirts, over 170 pairs of football boots. In fact, there was everything you could possibly think of to run a semi-professional football team.
All right. Well, so you got things started off for them. They had a rough season last year, and we had talked about the problems of even fielding 11. But with the help of what you're able to do with the club and with the volunteers and sponsors, tell us what's happened in the last few weeks that has everyone excited.
Well, the season started off, and it started off quite badly, actually. We got beat 3-1 in the very first game of the season against one of the other clubs who'd been promoted along with us. But as the season progressed, at the halfway point, we were actually sitting top of the league. We were the only team who beat the league champions all season, and we beat them at their ground as well. A team called WFN. Now, they're heavily sponsored by somebody who has connections with Chelsea Football Club. Guys from other teams are wanting to come along and play for our team as well, because they're better players from other teams. One, because it's free to play for the team, and two, you get supplied with all your kit free of charge. So the season went all the way through, and it was all nail-biting stuff on the last game of the season. We were playing a team called Kenya Nuts away from home, which we all thought would have been an easy game. We've beaten them on numerous occasions in the past in friendlies. We beat them earlier on in the season in the league. And the game was a bit of a disaster. I don't know if the boys were full of nerves, but we actually got beat 5-2, our heaviest defeat of the season. Now, unknown to us, the other crucial game kicked off 20 minutes after ours. And being a Sunderland fan myself, I've had occasions like this in the past where in the 1970s, Sunderland got relegated because of a game that kicked off late. And that game just turned out to be farcical. So I thought, oh no, this sounds like the 1970s all over again. But thankfully, that other team also got beat off a team down the bottom 1-0. So total, disappointment turned into overwhelming joy. The other funny thing was the other club who could have possibly been, level with us on points and had a very close goal difference, they got beat 3-0 at home off another bottom club as well. So all the top teams, for the first time all season, all got beat off the bottom teams in the league. So it was just a crazy day.
Wow. So now that they've been promoted, tell us where they're going to. What league will they be playing in now?
Well, we've just been promoted from the district league, and we now go into the provincial league. The difference is from the district league to the provincial league. District league games are all within, say, a 10-mile radius. Going into the provincial league, it can now go out to a 100-mile radius. So obviously, you can imagine next year we need extra sponsorship in because the biggest expense we have is the travelling to the away games. So that's where we need the extra sponsorship for next year.
Okay, so in addition to that, now that the season is over, what immediately is going to happen for the team?
Now, I've got some breaking news for you. Over
Okay.
the last couple of days, we are now going to take on a professional coach as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he'll be the coach we have at the moment is the only person who gets paid, but we now have 2 people on the books who actually get a wage.
Excellent. Oh, thanks for sharing that with us. And how has the team responded to this news?
Oh, the team overjoyed.
Wow.
But obviously, as you go onwards and upwards, you need to take that extra step. Just one step at a time, It only means one more coach coming in. But his professionalism will also help our own coach to gain more skills. And our own coach, we send it on a professional coaching course as well.
It's an amazing story to see how the team is progressing, how it's growing, and how it's affecting the local community there. But what is the situation now with the sponsorship? If we can move on to that subject, how does that affect the team and where they're going right now with all these new responsibilities they have?
Well, obviously, with them being totally penniless, they have to rely upon sponsorship to cover the costs. There's many teams, even in the provincial league this season that's just ended, there was 4 teams dropped out of the league because they couldn't sustain the finances and literally dropped back down to the lower leagues where the costs are minimal, which is a shame when you think about, these guys have probably had a dream just like our team, and then due to financial reasons, the team has to drop out of the league. Now, we had one team in our league drop out this year as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
And right at the end of the season, Keroche FC didn't fulfill their last 3 games either. Now, when we go to visit the team in February, we're arranging a tournament called the Kenya-England Friendship Cup. I've managed to get a fantastic sponsor on board called Northern Freight Services in the northeast of England to cover the cost of that competition. And what we do, and we're inviting 3 of the teams into competition along with ourselves, but it's 3 of the teams which have fallen into financial difficulties.
Okay.
Because over there, the sponsors have agreed to cover the cost plus give a £50 donation to each team that we invite. Now, £50 in Kenya goes an awfully long way.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so with this this makes me think about another question with the Friendship Cup. How has the team been received by the Sunderland faithful in England?
When you look on our Facebook page, the Sunderland AFC Keroche Facebook page, if you see, you get little comments like, "Welcome to the second best team in the world after Sunderland AFC." Yeah, and it really is amazing. We get messages coming in from Australia. Your own website helps an awful lot as well. We've had a few. I actually had visitors from America over to watch a Sunderland game last week, and they donated 2 Portland Timbers shirts to raffle off to raise money for the guys.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
the power of the internet is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing we at WFN have really been excited about with the club, and trying to do our part, because it's such a great story. We want to organize maybe even like a little portal to turn people's attention to the Facebook page, to tell a little bit about the backstory, so that people can keep up with the matches, with the individual players, what's going on. And that's why we've been motivated to create a team page for the lads there, and we're excited about, just like you are excited about the promotion and the things that we can do to help these guys really fulfill their own dreams, and this is something that is a worldwide thing. You got players here that, they have dreams, players in Latin America, but they're all over the place. And this game gives them that opportunity. So it's nice to be involved in that way.
Yeah, the power of sport, especially football being a worldwide renowned sport as well. It's amazing how it brings people together. That's why I have so many friends in America, especially at the Portland Timbers, because 2 years running, I came over to America to watch Sunderland in pre-season tours. And the friendships you build up are amazing. The Portland Timbers fans couldn't grasp the fact that 1,500 Sunderland fans travelled all the way from England to watch a friendly game. And they were really amazed by that, but their hospitality was something like, second to none. It was unbelievable, the hospitality we received over there. And, the year previous to that, we did the East Coast down in the Carolinas with the likes of Raleigh and Charleston and Carolina themselves. So, it also gives the opportunity to travel the world, and now I'm going to be visiting a new country next year when I go over to meet the team in Kenya.
Well, we'll have to get you down to Atlanta as well. We got to work on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just a couple of more questions, Gary. I wanted to kind of get some details. If someone, maybe they're hearing about the team for the first time by listening to this podcast, tell them how they can learn about the team and follow the team. We already talked about the social nets. Can you give us a little bit more information on that?
Yeah, well, if anyone goes onto Facebook, if they type in the search bar along the top of the Facebook page, type in Sunderland AFC, as in Association Football, Keroche. That's Keroche. If you type in the whole name, and in the drop-down bar, you'll see a one saying sports page. Click on that, and then you're automatically on the team page. We put all the news on there. If anybody's interested in donating or sponsoring towards the club, if you keep scrolling down the page, you'll find little pictures, and it tells you about the sponsorship deals. It's amazing to think that you can sponsor a player for as little as £50 per season, which in your own country, I think, is the equivalent of about $80.
Yeah, something, yeah.
Them fees cover not just all the expenses of a team, which this year we ended up with a team roster of 38 players. When you think about that, it's amazing when we struggled to put out the team before the sponsors got involved. And it also covers the costs for an academy that looks after over 100 children now as well. So in total, we can cover the cost of the club for £2,000 a season. But then we have some extra things we want to do for them this year. We having the pitch levelled. We have new goal posts put in.
Excellent.
Goal posts for nearly every team in the league are made out of the branches of trees.
Yeah.
And if you get the chance to look at some of the goals, the crossbars all dip down in the middle where the saps come out the tree and the tree's bent. But our team next season will kick off the season with a set of brand new metal goal posts, as like what you would see in the Premiership or on any football field in your country and my country. Along with that, we then want to buy them a petrol lawnmower to cut the grass and be able to maintain the field themselves. Dugouts for the home and away teams. So it's just gradual step by steps. And we're going to do a lot of that work when we go to visit them for 1 week in February. Little things like that to them make such a difference because we just take things like that for granted.
That's excellent. That's a great story. I'm glad to hear that too. And that's what the game does. It brings people together. It's the reason why I know you and learned about what's going on there, and it's helped so many people. So
well, as I say, I now class yourself and Kurt, you're a reporter in England. I class you as friends, even though I've never actually met you.
Yeah.
It's things like this where you think the power of the internet and the love of football, it brings so many people together, and it all gives us the opportunity to help those who are not as fortunate in life as what we are.
Yeah. It's our special own little family, and that's, I can't say enough about how special that is for not only helping people, but just getting to open up doors to other cultures, other peoples, other backgrounds, and it really is an amazing thing that the game can do for anyone. But one last question, Gary, I wanted to ask you, now that we've gotten through the season, got some plans for the off season, some events. What are you going to be doing personally this off season in reference to the team? I know what you're going to be doing as far as following Sunderland in England, but what about for the team personally?
Well, the team itself probably takes up 3 to 4 hours on average per day of my life now.
Wow.
I'm going out, I'm trying to raise sponsorship, as sponsorship expenses, etc., for the team get more each season as we rise. It's hard work to go out, especially in the current economic climate. But, if there's anybody out there who wants to donate $5, $10, $20 or $5, $10, £20, it all mounts up. Now, we only give the team what they require for the season. We have an account for the team in Kenya. It's a Barclays Bank account, which is an English bank. And we have a Barclays Bank account for them in England. So we can transfer money, make a smooth transaction of money from Barclays to Barclays. But the other thing as well is there's always a risk, if something went wrong, if we give them every penny that we raise, that money would probably just disappear into thin air. So we still always play on the cautious side.
Sure.
If we get over and above what we need for that season, we have it in the account over here. If the team was ever to fold, that money we would then give out to local charities in our area.
Cool.
I'm hoping it never comes to that, but any extra money raised will go into the account to, for the longevity of the club, for the future of the club. Because it might come, we never know, it might become harder and harder to get sponsorship. So we always try to keep a little bit in the pot. But as I say, if anybody wants to donate anything or sponsor, please look on the team's Facebook page. All the details are there. There's many ways of doing it. You can do it by internet banking. You can send a check. You can do it as a bank transfer. So there's numerous places, regardless of where you are around the world, how you can donate and help the team. But you're not just helping the team and the academy. You're helping the whole community. Because there's many little off things from the team where the money goes into the community and helps a lot of other people. For example, we have a lady in the village who washes the kit every week. She's an old lady. She has no source of income. She struggles to put food on the table. I'm going to be very truthful with you. She gets paid 500 Kenyan shillings a week, which is the equivalent in England of £3.50 or maybe $5. That can feed her family for a week.
And so, to the audience out there, I mean, that says a lot. I mean, we talked about sponsoring a player, for around, in U.S. dollars, around $80 or so forth. But any amount that you can give will help the club. And just as Gary mentioned there, $5 being able to feed this woman and her family for the time that it does, it's amazing. We spend $5 going to McDonald's, one time. So why not sacrifice a little bit there to help, not only an individual in difficult circumstances, but a whole community.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, Gary, I want to thank you for spending some time to tell us about the team, what's been happening with their promotion, what's happening with sponsorship, and how the audience out here can help as the team continues to progress. So thank you for coming on, and hopefully you have a good rest of the weekend.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Andre. Just one last thing. If anybody does go and visit the page, please click the like button on the page, because that lets the boys and the team and the community see that there's people all around the world supporting them. So even if you can't donate, you can't help it, one little click of that like button means so much to these people.
We'll definitely do that. Definitely. Gary, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you again pretty soon.
Thanks very much, Andre. Thanks for your time.